Howdy, gang. Well, on our recent trip to Texas, we had a chance to put together a panel with three of our favorite drone pilots, Brad Sloan, Bryan Roschetzky, and of course, Joe Tegtmeyer. What fun we had. They shared a lot of wisdom and a lot of insight, so here's the interview on it. And I had to break it into two parts because I'm going real heavy on the edit and trying to make as much value here as I can. Part 2 will be out tomorrow, probably? Yeah, let's say tomorrow. And then from there, we'll have a bunch of other great stuff. Big thanks to Ellie in Space for moderating the discussion. She's had an injury, so maybe go show her some love on Twitter at Sheriff TV. All her stuff will be in the show. So yeah, that's kind of it. Why don't we go ahead and get started? Real quick, I should mention, I'm Bryan. Welcome to my Tesla weekend. So we got a very special treat today. We've got three of the drone pilots from Texas. We've got Brad Sloan, we've got Bryan Roschetzky, we have got Joe Tegtmeyer, and we're going to have a little bit of chat about what we think. We got some mics right here. Come on up, you guys. Ellie's going to join us in a moment to guide the discussion about what we think is going to happen, what we're expecting, what we definitely do and do not want to see. Come on up and have a seat, you guys.
All right. Where should we sit?
Anywhere you like, along the bench, and grab a mic. And Ellie will be joining us momentarily to help guide the discussion.
Hello.
I think this might be Brad Sloan's first appearance at a Tesla-style event.
No, I was here last year.
Oh, were you? Okay. I knew you were planning to come, but I don't remember seeing you because it got a little busy.
I stay low-key.
Yeah. Last year, I never got out of the parking lot.
Yeah, you were right there the whole time.
He's the
He was
celebrity.
live. Yeah. Well, he's been doing it the longest of anyone up here. Yeah, so.
Too sad that Jeff or Randy couldn't make it.
Yeah, they were both invited.
Yeah.
Jeff, I did get a chance to talk to. Randy, I was unable to meet with. So Ellie is going to join us once again to guide the discussion.
Moderator.
Yeah.
Keep us online.
All right, you guys ready for panel number 2? We're going to talk about drones and spying on Gigafactory through drones. Can you guys first go down and kind of introduce yourselves and what you're all about?
Start with you.
Oh, okay. My name's Brad Sloan. I've been shooting out at the Tesla for about 2.5 years. Probably people didn't notice my first work because I stayed mostly on the west side because there was already about 5 guys shooting the factory itself. But as people dropped out and there were less activities on the west side of the highway, I decided to shoot more of the factory itself, and now I shoot everything. Recently bought a Maverick 3 Classic. I have been flying for the last 2.5 years in my Mavic Air 2, which is a good drone, but it's definitely a step up going to the 3 Classic. It has greater depth of dynamic range, the differences between dark and light. You can see a lot more in the shadows with it. I'm not sure if you could say it's sharper, but it does have better color rendition, I think. You can do what they call D-Log, which gives you 10-bit color, but you have to take a lot of time in editing to color grade every shot, and it's really not quite worth that to get that extra quality doing that. I have a degree at UT in radio, TV, film, and like you, I worked in TV news.
Oh, my condolences.
A couple of years, a couple of decades. It didn't pay very well.
No, it doesn't. Oh, we could have a whole conversation about TV news.
But it was fun. It just hard to pay the bills doing it.
So are you mainly focused on Giga Texas, and are you posting on YouTube? Your
Yes,
work?
I try to shoot at least 3 times a week. Me and Joe kind of worked out a deal where I'll shoot Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays, and he does Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
So you're not rivals.
I don't
Hey.
consider it such. Every drone pilot has their own style, and it's a plus for the viewers
Right.
to see. I may miss stuff, and Joe gets it, or Joe misses it, and I get it.
And how long have you been flying drones?
About 2.5 years.
2.5 years.
Well-
What about you, Joe? Tell us about your drone history.
All right. Well,
Drone on about it.
I'm Joe Tegtmeyer. Thanks for watching. I've been flying here at Giga Texas since about, July of 2020, right? Immediately after they made the announcement that they were going to formally build Giga Texas, I live out in San Antonio. I thought, well, let me come up here and see if I could even find the place. And I really wasn't familiar with this part of Austin at all. So I drove up and I kind of drove around a little bit, and then I finally saw where they were building it. And I actually started, believe it or not, with a cell phone video that I did in portrait mode, which I heard no end of grief on. And I posted that out on YouTube just to see if there was any interest in it at all. And that was actually my start. And besides the portrait mode, I remember people asking, well, you got to do better than that. I'm like, I didn't even know where this was. So I decided at that point, let me get a drone, because that's probably the better way of seeing that, especially because of the expanse of what Giga Texas looks like. Also, I was a fan of Wuwa from Giga Shanghai, Tobias and the Wolfpack brothers over at Berlin. So I was aware of the fact that people did drones at the factories, so I thought I would give that a shot. At the same time, I met Jeff Roberts, who was actually flying at the same time, and then later on I met Randy and Jack, and we were the quad squad for a while. So anyway, I started learning the drones. I'm actually a pilot. I was in the Air Force, so I have a background in aviation, and flying drones actually, thank you. Flying drones actually gave me a chance to keep flying and be in the aviation as well, and then also learn a little bit about video editing and how to get the best video and images from the drone based on conditions and all that stuff. So I learned a lot as I went along. But the other thing that I wanted to do, like I said, I watched the Giga Shanghai and the Berlin videos, and it was great to see everything, but I always kept looking at their videos going, what is that? Why are they doing this? And I thought, well, if I'm gonna do this, I would like to try something a little bit different. So I thought I would do some research on things and give the information about what's going on, and just help people understand, why am I showing this piece of dirt being moved? What is that gonna do? So anyway, that's how I got my start.
Awesome, and now you're a famous YouTuber.
Yeah.
And then Bryan, tell us about your background.
So my background, really, I'm more of a photographer, and when I hear him talk about shooting in portrait mode, it makes me cringe.
See?
And I really got into shooting Giga Texas because I've always been shooting and filming and making drone videos and making drone photography, and I've because of my love and passion for Tesla, it just made sense. I've shot stock photography for Getty Images and iStock, and some of my top, genre is energy. And for the most part, I'm shooting oil refineries and places that I don't want to be. And what I like to shoot is, the mountains, beaches, and like other things. And when I go to Giga Texas, it's like I'm at a place that I kind of enjoy, even though half of it kind of stinks from the diesel construction and whatnot. But I'm just love getting out there and filming it. I started filming it maybe right around the time that it was just dirt and steel, and they were knocking down puddles and hills. And there was even speculation that it was another place far north, and we still didn't know, and that was just all of its great. So I haven't been doing it as long as these guys. These are the true workhorses at Giga Texas. I mean, they were really there like every single day, and it blew my mind that people had this kind of dedication to film at this place. But the amount of views that I got were, to me, like, backed it up. Like, people really wanted to see this, and you can go out there every day and still like learn something new. So I think it's great.
Bryan, though, he's the only one that snowboarded.
Okay, yeah, I am the only person that has snowboarded at Giga Texas. I will give you that. Yeah.
Well, some of us were barricaded in our homes with no electricity too.
Yeah, I lucked out. I think I had like a surgery place connected to my house, so I never lost power. But I have a buddy down the street with a Powerwall that helped out the community and went around charging people, phones and everything. So it's, yeah.
Well, I have to say, as a reporter and someone who's made some videos about Giga Texas, it's very hard to get B-roll from the side of the road. First of all, you can't capture the size and scale of Giga, but it's also quite dangerous. It's not very friendly necessarily to pull off and take videos, so I really appreciate you guys capturing this. But why is the medium of the drone so powerful and helpful in capturing something as massive as Giga?
I think what you said is very true. One of the unexpected things about doing this drone thing is just meeting people from all over the world, and it's just been amazing, and it's blown me away. If you saw my last video, we had a group from the Czech Republic come over and visit, and we've been working on that for months, and it's just amazing to me. And most of these people that come out here, by the way, most of the time they're here to see Giga Texas and then Starbase, or Starbase and then Giga Texas. One of the two is always happening. But when they get here, they are amazed by the size of the factory and what you can see, but then they're also disappointed by how little you can see from the sites that are available for the public. And the power of the drone is it gives you a way to see all of what is going on in a way that you just can't in person. There's another unexpected benefit of flying the drones and doing the videos that I did not anticipate, and that is you see all the workers out at the site, and you imagine that they know what is going on, but when you talk to them, you find out that they're very focused on their little section that they're working on, and they're, in many ways, completely unaware of everything that's going on. So initially, they were a little skeptical about why would you want to fly a drone out here? And later on, they became some of the bigger
Fans,
subscribers because not only can they
Mm-hmm.
see what's going on, but they're sharing it with their families too. And they're like, look, that's me doing whatever. And that's been the power of the drone, which has been really cool.
Gives the Tesla higher-ups an eye on what's going on too when they're not around.
Yeah, that is true. Especially the early days, the first year or so when it was trying to make dirt look sexy and all that stuff. And a lot of the big, huge pieces of construction was going on. A lot of the Tesla employees, and in fact the management, said that they liked watching all of our videos because they got a chance to see the progress, what was going on in ways that they couldn't see otherwise. And they actually featured some of our videos in their weekly meetings, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I was going to ask, how does Tesla feel about what you're doing? Do they support kind of your monitoring of their progress?
Well, we have approval, but didn't they just recently not allow or tell someone they can't do it in Berlin?
Yeah, over in Berlin right now, they're kind of restricting the use of drones. In Shanghai, every once in a while, they do that as well for certain events or certain things. For here at Giga Texas, when we first, at the very, very beginning, I mean, if many of you have been watching our videos, there was a short period of time where there was some question about whether we could do drones or not. And it was primarily because of the security that was here at the site that was kind of unaware what was going on. So we were able to reach out, and we got approval from Elon directly that we could do the drones, but we had certain restrictions of what we could or could not do. That eventually grew into a relationship with security, some of the Tesla employees. We also were in touch with and worked with the contractors that were also flying drones at that time because they were using that to survey. And we kind of came up in the Air Force. When we were out deployed, we had something called an air tasking order, an ATO, and we had different air routes and altitudes and times and stuff. And so we kind of did a deconfliction thing, if you will, with a lot of the contractors and ourselves. We set up sort of a text group, and there was a way that we had a dialogue back and forth that helped prevent problems on the site or made sure that we weren't doing something that they didn't want to do. On occasion, they have reached out to me particularly and said, hey, there's something going to happen we don't want you to see, we don't want to do this, and I've tried to honor that as much as I can. And in other cases, recently, most people know now, but in the casting machine structure on the northeast side, they put a tarp up there, and that's because of the work on the 9,000-ton Giga press, and they want to kind of keep that sort of close wrap, mostly because that's a direct indication of the production of the Cybertruck and other things that are going on with that. So.
Now, Joe, you would probably know the answer to this. Can you drone down at Starbase?
Mostly the answer is no. Only SpaceX can do that. There's just a no drone zone over the production facility and also down at the orbital launch facility as well. SpaceX does fly a drone, but they obviously can. And then when they're doing actual testing or launching, they have other stuff. They have TFRs, they have MarSense or and also NOTAMs and everything that tell people you can and can't fly in certain areas, certain altitudes. I know that RGV Aerial does a lot of work there with airplanes, but originally they were down to like 5,000 AGL, but recently they've made it to 10,000 feet. So if you watch those videos, you'll see that they are doing that at higher altitude. The only exception is Massey's, because I know that some people are flying drones around Massey's, and Massey's is sort of it used to be a gun range, and now it's being turned into a test facility. They just moved Ship 25 over there a couple days ago, but apparently that's far enough away that at least some people have been able to fly drones. Now, if I were to go down there, or we go down there, I wouldn't even try it right now, because I want to respect with what's going on down there, and there's frankly plenty of people covering Starbase.
So you guys have been obviously capturing the progress of Giga Texas from the beginning. Do you plan to continue this for a long time?
I'll let
Yeah, I plan to keep on going. Like I say, I just spent a lot of money on a new drone, and I'm going to keep using it each week. I'm looking forward to the Cybertruck coming out. That'll be, I'm sure, it'll be a big hit.
Does it feel like there's always something going on, like every day, every week?
No, there is something going on every day, every week, 24/7. It's constant.
Always.
Yeah, I let them chime in on that because I haven't been flying down there, and maybe if everyone goes and subscribes, I'll try to get back out there. I moved to Georgetown and just haven't been going out there as much, and it's almost like I miss it. I want to get back out there, and the solar panel rooftop says Tesla now completely. Of course, there's definitely good things going on every day, and I still watch their videos and get to follow it, so it's great.
Yeah, that's been sort of the interesting thing is you never really know what you're going to see when you get up there. I'll get to your question in a second, but I generally have a rough idea of what I want to try to capture for each video, and I think about that on my trip up from San Antonio.
Same here.
But when you get there,
Dedication.
you find out there's something else going on, or there's something interesting, or hey, there's a Cybertruck prototype. I'm probably going to show that versus what's going on with the intersection on the east side. So that has been very interesting. When I first started this, I had no idea what I was getting myself into, to be honest with you. And originally I was doing every other day, literally every other day. About a year into it, I went to every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, just to make it a little bit more sustainable. And my goal originally was I wanted to see the Cybertruck done and produced. And I thought that would be 2022. And here we are, well into 2023 now. I would like to continue to do this as much as I can, but I've been doing this for almost 3 years without, the only breaks I've taken was because of a winter storm, or because the weather has been just not suitable to fly, or when I went down to Starbase in the end of 2021, or I guess 2022. No, it was 2021. But anyway, I would like to be able to do a few other things. So for the moment, I'm going to continue Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but at some point I may shorten it down a little bit. In addition, I've kind of branched out to showing you what's going on with the Starlink facility and boring company just to the west of here. I know that Brad shows sometimes the railhead up near Taylor, Texas, and also the Samsung.
I got a nasty, well, not nasty, but an unhappy owner of the railyard commented on my video. So that's why I can't really get close. I want to avoid a lawsuit there.
Sounds
Probably
good.
wise.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is there's a refinery going to be built down by Corpus Christi that I'm getting a lot of people asking, well, you live in San Antonio, just go on down there. It's like, well, it's the opposite direction of Austin, so something we have to give. So maybe I'll start covering a little bit of that once there's more to be seen.
I'm surprised you haven't moved to Austin yet.
Well, fortunately, I live in North San Antonio, so it's closer.
So I got a question or a suggestion for you.
Sure.
I gotta go. What would be awesome is if you can capture the first time that a car drives out of the factory, basically robotaxi. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Because pretty well these cars are going to start driving themselves and parking on their own.
Yeah, a lot of people ask me that. I've talked to the people that work, it's called End of Line, and I've talked to them about what they do. And at least for the foreseeable future, they're planning on having people do the drives. Part of that is because of the construction of the factory. If you've watched the videos for the last, since last summer when they started making vehicles, they've been exiting at the south end, sort of on the southwest corner. That has recently changed. It's now coming out on the east side, near where the platform is located on the south side of Body and White. And they're doing that partly because maybe we'll hear about it today, but in that area, they've been reconfiguring that whole section inside for General Assembly lines 2 and 3, and it's going from the ground floor all the way up through the 3rd floor. They've removed a bunch of sections of the 2nd floor, and they've put in kind of a mezzanine kind of structure. Sometimes I've shown you that, but that's all part of that. And then on the 3rd floor, there's actually another section that they've removed the floors. Anyway, that whole section, and then nearby something called Stamping 2, where they're putting the new stamping machine, metal forming machines that are going to be doing Cybertruck. All of that area in there is being reconfigured, so they're having to do the vehicle. So to track a vehicle is a little bit difficult at this moment in time because they keep moving it. Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Okay.
Okay, thanks guys.
So that's part one.
What has been your
Very
favorite
interesting stuff. Part two will be out tomorrow. I'm trying to get as much of this edited as I can. Huge thanks to my patrons, without whom this trip could never have happened. I only get about 22% of my income from YouTube, which is terrible. Some months it's even less. Yeah, it's all right. For the rest of you guys, just subscribe and like and hit the bell and follow me on Twitter at 4K Podcast. You can do all that stuff. I know you can. I believe in you, and it's still free for now at least. Okay, so stay tuned, stay juicy, and don't forget to leave them comments in them comments below. The wisdom, the brilliance, all of it needs to go down there. And yeah, stay tuned, stay juicy, and I can't wait to hear from you clever robots in the comments and on tomorrow's video as well.
What isn't very